Aaron Rodgers' future with the Packers appears to be in jeopardy as he's reportedly not happy with the team. I'm Robin Lundberg here with senior writer Albert Breer. And Albert, I know the Packers have said they're not going to trade him. But the way I look at these situations sometimes, if there's someone like Aaron Rodgers who's as unhappy as he is, he could sort of light the whole thing ablaze, right? Because there's what he said after they were eliminated from the playoffs. And then I don't dismiss the fact that this came out on draft night, right? A year after they drafted Jordan Love, his supposed replacement. So will Aaron Rodgers be the starting QB for Green Bay?
Oh, well, I think the first thing you got to address here, Rob, none of this is by mistake. This isn't an accident. This is calculated. Everything that Aaron Rodgers does is calculated. And I think a piece of it really started with Aaron Rodgers taking a look around and looking at the other three conference finalists and seeing how aggressively the Buccaneers built around Tom Brady, seeing how aggressively the Chiefs built around Patrick Mahomes, and seeing how aggressively the Bills built around Josh Allen. And I think this has been sort of a frustration. It was a frustration of Brett Favre's all the way back 15 years ago, and I think it's become now like almost like an inherited frustration of Aaron Rodgers, that maybe he feels like they should be building with a little bit more urgency. And one thing that's sort of interesting is there's a automatic trigger in his contract that the Packers can push the button on whenever they want to. And it basically would save the team about $8-9 million in cap space right now today. They've been able to do that. They would have been able to do that at any point over the course of this offseason. They still haven't done it. And if you look at the way that the Buccaneers built around Tom Brady, how did they do it? They've done it by continuing to mortgage contracts and basically saying, we're going to worry about the cap problems 2 years from now. We're worried about the here and now. And so, I think a lot of Aaron Rodgers' frustration stems from that, in that he wanted them to build with more urgency. And so when you add, his sort of look around the NFL, I think a look at his own football mortality, the fact that he doesn't have unlimited years left, and then you add it to the fact that there's a young quarterback in the building, I think you can kind of put together the pieces where Aaron's probably looking at, all right, well, you're building for me, but are you also building for Jordan Love? And, now I'm looking over at Tampa Bay and I see they win the Super Bowl and they're clearly building around Tom Brady. I mean, it's clear as day over there. So I think that that's sort of where the frustration comes from. And again, none of this is an accident. The fact that he spoke the way he spoke on the last day of the season isn't an accident. And the fact that this came out on draft day isn't an accident either.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I think to me, it's the goal of Aaron Rodgers probably at this point to get himself out of there. But when you say they didn't build around him, and I know that's from his perspective, I could push back a little bit and say that, the Packers intercepted Tom Brady a couple of times in that game, right? And Aaron Rodgers didn't get the ball in the end zone. So does some of that go on him?
Yeah, I mean, look, like I don't think that there's any question that to some degree, maybe Aaron Rodgers doesn't realize how good he has it, and I mean, they've got a clear, bona fide top 10 receiver in Devontae Adams. He's playing behind a clear, bona fide top 5 left tackle in David Bakhtiari. They've consistently drafted really well. A couple of years ago, they did make a splash in free agency and going and getting Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith and Adrian Amos. And so there are definitely people around the league, people with other teams that look at it and say, does Aaron Rodgers really realize how good he has it? It's sort of similar in a way, Robin, to the way people, like some people in the league, look at Russell Wilson and see how good a situation Russell Wilson's had over the last 9 years and look at him a little sideways and say, you play for one of the best organizations in the sport and you've been consistently in the playoffs. Like what are you looking for? I definitely think there's some element of that with Aaron Rodgers. I just think that, you look at, again, the way that some teams have built around rookie quarterbacks because they do have that advantage of those guys making less. And then the way that the Bucs have built around Tom Brady and just sort of throwing caution to the wind. And you feel, it just feels to me a little bit like Aaron Rodgers wants somebody to go all in on what's left of his career.
Even if the grass isn't necessarily greener away from Green Bay.